Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to negotiate about. I am going to be giving you an update on some more transfer news. So I am going to be giving you a bit more additional information on Paul Pogba. Also going to be giving you the latest news on Jack Grealish. I'm going to be talking with you a bit more about Saul Niguez from Atletico Madrid. So there's lots of topics to delve into, but before I delve into them topics, I just want to confirm that Premier League clubs have had showdown talks today, to establish plans for the remainder of the season, because obviously, the football has been suspended since the 9th of March, so it has been suspended now for over a month. And obviously, it did actually, say recently, before this meeting today, that the Premier League, were thinking about resuming the season on the 6th of June. And it actually, did say they wanted to complete the season by the 30th of June. So it basically, said they'd have to play like 2 or 3 games a week to complete it on the 30th of June. But yeah, so they have had this meeting now, and reportedly, in this meeting, there has been, no talks of, the season finishing on the 30th of June. There's also been no debate on the issues with the pay cuts or the transfer windows. So actually, I don't even know when the season is going to resume, to be quite honest with you. There's also been talks as well saying, if the season is to be void, meaning if it isn't to resume, then it did say actually, there could be 22 teams in the Premier League and, 4 teams relegated. And Liverpool, would get their, first ever Premier League title, to end their 30-year drought. Because it's as it stands at the moment, Liverpool only need 2 wins to clinch their first ever Premier League title. And it also said, teams in the relegation zone won't get relegated, something like that. And it said, Leeds and West Brom, would go up from the Championship. Obviously, there was talks quite a few weeks ago as well that, the Premier League could face a financial penalty of £762 million if the season isn't to resume and that. So, yeah, so obviously as well, I think there's around 57 players in the Premier League who could actually, walk out on the 1st of July because their current contracts do expire on the 30th of June. On the 30th of June, this is, what it has basically said. And so yeah, so the Premier League, this is what's basically happened in the meeting this morning. Like I updated you on my video yesterday, Liverpool are changing their sponsor. I think Villa are changing their sponsor, and so too are Newcastle. Also to UEFA are planning, to play the Champions League final on August the 29th. So this is what it has basically said. So yeah, so that's the latest news on that. So there's been no mentions of the there's been no debates on the issues of the pay cuts, because I do believe, some Premier League players have had their wages cut by around 30%. Don't forget the entirety of our squad donated around 30% of their wages to the NHS. I think already the Premier League have paid around £20 million to the NHS and paid around 125 million in advance payments to the EFL and the National League. So this is been confirmed. But yeah, the season I think has got to resume anyway, because the season has been extended indefinitely. So we will see what happens. But obviously, when they do eventually, resume the season, obviously, they're going to have to reschedule all the fixtures, that obviously, they have postponed. But, it isn't only football, that's been cancelled. Obviously, a lot of sporting events across the globe have been cancelled due to this coronavirus pandemic. And like I mentioned, the football season obviously, got cancelled. The football season got cancelled. Obviously, with what happened, with Mikel Arteta, because he got tested positive for coronavirus. Don't forget, obviously now he has recovered. Obviously quite a few football players have had it. Dybala's had it, Fellaini's had it. I think there's quite a few football players that have had it, and there might be a few that I haven't mentioned and that. So this disease is really, really bad. But like I mentioned before, public health is more of a priority than football. So let's just put that into the equation. Obviously, teams have been training in self-isolation and that, and obviously, managers have been like in touch with the players through apps and stuff like that. So yeah, so maybe the season won't be finishing on the 30th of June. I probably do believe that the Premier League will have another meeting to try and establish plans for the remainder of the season. And also too, it says that top flight clubs actually will lose millions, or should I say over a billion, should I say, in revenues and stuff like that. But I said if the season wasn't to resume, then it'd be interesting to see how it would implicate the leagues and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's the latest news on that. I just want to confirm with you. So now let's delve into the transfer news. So I'm going to be giving you some news now on Saul Niguez. Then I'll delve into news on Pogba. Then I'll talk with you about Jack Grealish. So the news on Saul Niguez is that reportedly Atletico Madrid could be forced to sell Saul Niguez if Atletico Madrid are to fail to qualify for the Champions League for next season. Now, we're actually seeing Saul Niguez as an adequate replacement for Paul Pogba. Now, obviously, it recently said, that we're willing to pay £70 million for Saul Niguez. That's around half than what Atletico Madrid are demanding, because Atletico Madrid have said they want his release clause triggered, and his release clause in his Atletico Madrid contract is around 130 odd million pounds. So yeah, around 132, or is it 133 million pounds is actual release clause, but we are reluctant to pay that much for the player. Now it did say we secretly scouted Saul Niguez in Atletico Madrid's 3-2 win against Liverpool back in the last 16 of the Champions League second leg. Now, there has been narrative, saying that Saul Niguez, could actually leave Atletico Madrid. It also recently said that we're willing to offer Saul Niguez around nearly £200,000 a week. So we're willing to increase his wages by around £85,000, because at the moment Atletico Madrid is on around £115,000 a week, is the player. Saul Niguez, like I mentioned, he can play as a central midfielder and a holding midfielder, and Manchester United are in search for the holding midfielder. And I think when he was younger, he was predominantly a centre-half, was Saul Niguez. Now, don't forget, back in 2017, Saul Niguez had signed a new long-term contract with Atletico Madrid. He'd signed a 9-year contract. And as it stands at the moment, Saul Niguez has still got 6 years remaining on his contract. But yeah, Saul Niguez has spent the vast majority of his career with Atletico Madrid. I think this is now his 12th season with Atletico Madrid, and he's made nearly 300 appearances for them in all competitions. But Atletico Madrid do know how much of an imperative player he is. Yes, they do know, because obviously, Atletico Madrid lost Griezmann last summer. Don't forget, they also lost Diego Godin. They also recruited a few players into Atletico Madrid, though. They got Thomas Lemar in from Atletico. They got Thomas Lemar in from Monaco, should I say. They also got someone else in. They got Kieran Trippier in. He's another player they got in. They also got Joe Felix in from Benfica. But Atletico Madrid will probably try and do everything they can to convince Saul Niguez to remain loyal to them. He is the age of 25, Saul Niguez, so he's still very, very young. So do you think if he was to come to the Premier League, do you think he would succeed? I think also too, Manchester City have been long admirers of the player. So yeah, so he is one player on our agenda, is Saul Niguez. Now, I'm going to delve into the news on Paul Pogba, because more news is updated on Paul Pogba. Now, the news is on Paul Pogba that there's still a chance that Paul Pogba could remain at Manchester United next season. The former goalkeeper, Mark Bosnich, for Manchester United goalkeeper, he's come out and said that Pogba will stay at Manchester United next season. Now, there has been a hell of a lot of speculation about Paul Pogba leaving the football club when the transfer window does reopen. And I do believe if Pogba leaves Manchester United, he will either go to Real Madrid, because Real Madrid have been relentlessly linked to him. Revert back to last summer, his actual preference was to make a move to Real Madrid. He wanted to go to Real Madrid, and obviously, last year Paul Pogba was talking a hell of a lot about Real Madrid, about his dreams of playing under Zinedine Zidane and all of that. But the main explanation why his move to Real Madrid didn't materialise last summer was reflecting on the substantial amount we put on him, because we priced him out of the market last summer because we said we wanted £180 million, and Real Madrid were not willing to meet that valuation. Now, Real Madrid, of course, recruited around 5 or 6 players in last summer, and they spent, was it £200-300 odd million on them, but they're still looking to do more investment. Obviously, they're looking to also offload players in Madrid. They're looking to get rid of like James Rodriguez. They're looking to get rid of Bale. They're looking to get rid of Dani Ceballos on a permanent transfer. So there's still a possibility chance that Paul Pogba could go to Real Madrid. But I think his actual first choice is, to make a return back to Juventus. That's his first choice. Because, Pogba did enjoy 4 good years in Turin with Juventus, obviously, before he rejoined Manchester United back in 2016. And we paid £89 million for the player. So as it stands at the moment, Paul Pogba is our most expensive signing. And one of the highest paid players at the football club, because Paul Pogba is on like £300,000 a week at Manchester United. He's on £300,000 a week. Don't forget, PSG and Barcelona have also been in for Paul Pogba in the past. Now, like I said, swap deals have been on the agenda in recent weeks. Obviously, quite a few weeks ago now, there was talks of Aaron Ramsey coming to Man United as part of a swap deal of, Pogba going back to Juventus. There was obviously there's been talks of De Ligt coming to Manchester United as part of a swap deal of Pogba going to Juventus. So swap deals have been on the agenda, but like I mentioned, swap deals are very, very rare in the modern game. If a swap deal was to materialise, then probably, there would be a fee involved for Pogba as well as a player in exchange. But, if we were just to get rid of Pogba without any swap deal involved, I think we've quoted out that we want at least £100 million for him when the transfer window does reopen, because it's very imperative that we do generate more money for him, than what we paid for him. A couple of days ago, I gave you the news, didn't I, as well, on Graham Souness and that, because, Graham Souness has been persistently criticising Paul Pogba, and Paul Pogba, has ignored it for quite some time, but recently, Paul Pogba's reacted to the criticism he has received from Graham Souness, basically, saying that, don't recognise Graham Souness, didn't even know Graham Souness were. He just, said that I know he was a very, very good player, Graham Souness, because he did play for Liverpool. Also, too, Graham Souness, was talking about Paul Pogba's lengthy absentee. He was also talking about, that, Paul Pogba, doesn't want to be at Manchester United. And he was like saying, instructing Paul Pogba, to put his medals and that on the table. But he was also talking about how much of a top player he is, and his athleticism and his technique, etc., etc. But Paul Pogba did respond to the criticism that he did receive. Pogba recently made an admission, saying, that he did support Arsenal as a young child. The main explanation for that is because he did love Thierry Henry. He also revealed that his brother supported him, but his other brother, of course, supported Manchester United and all of that. Obviously, Pogba's been talking to the United podcast recently, and these are all the things he has said that I've just mentioned to you, most of it anyway. He also said his mother always told him that he would return to Manchester United because, like I said, he left back in 2012. We let him go on a free transfer to Juventus because we did have Pogba under the Ferguson era, but the main explanation why we had to let him go was due to limited appearances. So that's, the reason we had to let him go. But like I said, Pogba has recently spoken about, the issues that he's had with injuries this season. Pogba's only played 8 times for Manchester United this season. The last time he played was back in September. Well, the last time he started was September. But the last time he played overall was on Boxing Day. But Pogba has come out and made an admission and said he will be much stronger, when he does come back. But he has been stepping up his fitness regime. As it stands at the moment, Pogba's got 2 years left on his Man United contract, 1 year with an option of a further year. So there's still a possibility chance he could stay at Manchester United at least for another year. Obviously, we do know that his agent Mini Raiola has been talking a lot since the turn of the year. And Man United have been very, very critical of him. Reflecting on some of the comments he said. Ed Woodward's had negotiations with Mini Raiola, obviously, to resolve Pogba's future and to stop Mini Raiola making a number of public attacks against the club, because he has made a lot of attacks, public attacks against the club since the turn of the year. But Mini Raiola, has been working on getting his client a transfer away from Man United completed, at least for the last couple of years or so. But obviously, reflecting back, before all the football season got suspended and that, obviously, Solskjaer did come out in Austria and said, that Paul Pogba will remain at Manchester United next season. So in a way, he was reiterating what Pogba had said, because Pogba had said before Solskjaer had said that he was interested in staying in the club, and he believes he can form a good partnership with Bruno Fernandes. But since he rejoined us back in 2016, he just basically had a long-running transfer saga. Don't forget, Pogba endured a very, very difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era. But we may only sign a midfielder if Paul Pogba is to leave the football club, and he is only at the age of 27, so he is still very, very young. I think the best we've seen of Paul Pogba was in that 3-month period when Solskjaer was the interim manager. But yeah, so that's the latest news on Paul Pogba. But like I said, Mini Raiola got a good relation with Real Madrid, and I think Pogba's got a good relationship with Zinedine Zidane. So that's maybe why there's a possibility chance that he could go to Real Madrid. So yeah, so that's the news on Paul Pogba. So now let's talk about Jack Grealish. So the news on Jack Grealish is that reportedly now Manchester United are no longer interested in Jack Grealish. I've just actually read this in the Daily Express. There's also some narratives in the media saying that Everton have expressed their interest in Jack Grealish. Now, reportedly Ed Woodward has given his overarching view on this, and he's actually said he'd rather Manchester United sign a holding midfielder rather than sign Jack Grealish. But actually, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has actually instructed Ed Woodward and that, to get a deal over the line for Jack Grealish, because he is one of our number one priority targets for the summer. Now, we already know how much Jack Grealish is going to cost the club. He's going to cost us around £60 million, maybe £70 million, whether Villa are to stay up or whether Villa are to get relegated. But I don't think Jack Grealish will, remain at Aston Villa for next season. I think he will leave when the transfer window does reopen, because even Villa are avoiding relegation. I don't think that's going to be enough to convince Jack Grealish to remain loyal to them. Now, Jack Grealish has remained loyal to Aston Villa for several years. He's remained loyal to them. He's been a Villa player since the age of 6. He's been in their senior squad since 2014, and since then he's become an integral part of Aston Villa's team as Jack Grealish. He's become an integral part of Aston Villa's team, and got to say, he has flourished under Dean Smith's guidance. He was key to Villa getting promotion to the Premier League. He was key to them getting to the Carabao Cup final this season. There's obviously been Tottenham City that have been in for him. Revert back to the summer of 2018. Tottenham were very, very close to getting him for like 20 odd million pounds, but obviously didn't happen. But yeah, so he has been on our agenda as Jack Grealish, and obviously we have revealed he's our preference over James Maddison, because James Maddison's also been another player on our agenda. Like I said, he's been our preference because Jack Grealish is a cheaper solution, because probably Maddison would cost us around £100 million or something like that. Also, he's more versatile, and plus, before the season got suspended, he was in better form than James Maddison. Jack Grealish is predominantly an attacking mid. Occasionally, you can play him as a winger, but I think he's made an admission saying that, he wants to leave Aston Villa, and all of that. But only 24 years of age, so he is still very, very young and well proven in that in the Premier League. He's still got a contract with Villa until 2023, so he's got like 3 years remaining on his contract. Obviously, reflecting on the incident with his Range Rover the other week, because he did crash his £80,000 Range Rover, and reflecting on that, there was talk saying, now his move to Manchester United may not materialise. He got fined £150,000, by the way, did Jack Grealish, and he broke lockdown rules because he actually, attended a party. And that was just before the incident with his car. He advised people to stay at home due to the coronavirus pandemic. So yeah, so reportedly now we are no longer interested in Jack Grealish. So that's the latest news on that. But like I've said, Tino, Solskjaer's already revealed his plans for when the transfer market does reopen. He's obviously revealed his transfer strategy. He still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young players to Manchester United like he did do last summer. And I think a lot of people are not excited about his transfer strategy, and that's something else that's changed, the transfer strategy. But yeah, and obviously, Solskjaer's got the backing of Ed Woodward, and, he's also got the backing of the Glazers. Obviously, Ed Woodward's confirmed he's going to be sticking with Solskjaer for the foreseeable future. But, Solskjaer did say, didn't he, recently, he insists that, we will exploit the transfer market when the transfer market does reopen. We'll exploit the transfer market. Because obviously, like I mentioned, a lot of teams are under financial pressure across the world due to this coronavirus pandemic. So what I mean by that is, teams are going to have to offload their players to generate funds. So he's got a lot of confidence, going into the market, when it does reopen. He does believe, we can recruit the right caliber players in. Now, Solskjaer, wants to make around 4 signings when the transfer window reopens. Because I think he believes we need around 4 signings, to become title contenders next season. And going on into next season, I expect us to enjoy a better season next season, than what we've enjoyed this season, without a shadow of a doubt. But I can almost assure that Solskjaer will be Manchester United manager next season. Another thing that's improved under Solskjaer, we have improved in the transfer market. What I mean is, I think, we're being a bit more sensible with our recruitment. So far, Solskjaer's enjoyed 3 transfer windows at the football club, and he has spent around £220 million on 5 players. Obviously, last summer he got James, Bissaka and Harry Maguire, and in January he got Bruno Fernandes and Odi Nigalo in. And also, we have got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he's come in, because I think around 9 players have left since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came in. So I've got to credit him for getting rid of a lot of the deadwood. I think we're going to get maybe around £200 million to spend this summer. That's going to be our transfer budget. But obviously, the budget will increase if Manchester United can sell players, and I think we're planning on getting rid of around 5, maybe 6 players when the transfer window does reopen. But we have got a good 14 players on our agenda. But the question is, which players will Manchester United sign? Solskjaer's identified the areas where he thinks Man United need to strengthen up. He's looking to bring a centre forward in. He's also looking to bring a right winger in, and he's looking to bring a midfielder in. There's been rumours emerging out saying, he's looking to bring a centre half in, but me personally speaking, I don't think, we're going to recommend the centre half, when the transfer window does reopen. But it is good that he's making plans. Obviously, on my video earlier on today, obviously, I kept you up to date of what's been going on with Jadon Sancho and that. I still am very, very confident, that Manchester United can sign Jadon Sancho when the transfer window does reopen. Maybe there's a slight chance that Chelsea could sign Jadon Sancho, because it's been revealed that Jadon Sancho is a lifelong Chelsea supporter. And plus, Jadon Sancho knows London quite well, because he began his footballing career in London with Watford. He was at Watford for several years. But there's been reports saying that Jadon Sancho will only come to Man United on one condition, and that's if we qualify for the Champions League for next season and that. So if we don't get qualification for the Champions League, then maybe Sancho will reject to move to Man United. I don't think Real Madrid are no longer in for him, according to the Spanish expert, like I mentioned. We know how much Jadon Sancho is going to cost us. He's going to cost us at least £100 million, maybe even £120 million. But either figure is going to make him a record signing in the Premier League, and he's also going to make him the most expensive British player in history. And I think, we're willing to offer Jadon Sancho the iconic number 7. Rashford's already revealed that he wants Jadon Sancho at Manchester United next season. So he is our number 1 priority target for when the transfer market does reopen. Also, earlier on today, I gave you the news on Harry Kane, didn't I? Kane to Manchester United is definitely on. The stumbling block, though, of him coming could be Tottenham's £200 million asking price. I give you the news on Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang. So there's so many players on our agenda. Was it yesterday? I give you the good news as well, didn't I, on Ed Woodward? Ed Woodward is no longer involved in our recruitment process, so there's a lot of positivity. That's a lot of positivity regarding that. And I've got to say, it is the best piece of news I've heard since Alex Ferguson retired back in 2013. And that was the only bad news regarding Ferguson, is that he had to retire back in 2013. And yeah, so he's no longer involved in our recruitment processes. Ed Woodward, of course, Ed Woodward though has got no intentions of recommending a director of footballing, because I think since the Jose Mourinho era we've been in search for a director of football. But obviously, we didn't get one in. But there's been quite a few former Manchester United players linked with that role. But I think it's because Alex Ferguson is behind the thinking. That's why Ed Woodward's got no intentions of getting a director of football in. But Man United, a lot of Man United fans, including me, have been very, very critical of Ed Woodward, reflecting on the poor selection of managers. Because Ed Woodward, of course, has sacked 3 managers since the Ferguson era. He's also, being criticised, for the a lot of the players we've brought in the last 6 or 7 years. Because we are known for overpaying for players. We paid 89 million for Pogba, 75 million for Lukaku, 50 million for Fred, 40 million for Matic, 80 million pounds for Harry Maguire. So we are known for overpaying for players, and we've recruited a hell of a lot of players in. We've recruited over 30 odd players in since the Alex Ferguson era and spent close to the £1 billion range. And Ed Woodward has been here since 2012, so he's been here like 8 years now as Ed Woodward. But Man United have been very, very critical of him, especially earlier on in the season. Don't forget, his £2 million mansion got attacked, don't forget. Also, too, not only Ed Woodward though, obviously, we've been very, very... We've had a lot of doubts, regarding the club's ownership, which is the Glazers. And I think the Glazers have been here since 2005 is it? So they've been here a good 15, 16 years now, and I think they've taken over £1 billion out of the football club of the Glazers. So let's just put that into the equation. And yeah, like I said, there's been a lot of problems with the management throughout the course of this season, because we have enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season for 30 years. Yes, we have in that. But I'm still determined to back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I don't know if he is the long-term future for Manchester United, but I think he does deserve at least a couple of more transfer windows. At least two more transfer windows. I think he deserves at least another season at Manchester United. At the moment, Solskjaer's been here 16 months, or almost 16 months. So he has been at the football club over a year. But like I said, obviously, before the football season got suspended, we was in a really, really good vein of form, because we are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions. And in that 11-game period, a lot of aspects of our game improved. Our football looked more expansive. We was creating more chances. We was getting, best out of the players. We was scoring more goals. And, that's what we obviously, want to see. And all of that. But like I said, I've got to credit Solskjaer as well, because I think his approach to the big games have also, been very, very good. Haven't been so good though against lower opposition. I think Solskjaer's promoted the youth very, very well, because like I mentioned, the young players have been given their opportunities this season, which is very good news. And like I said to you on one of my videos before, I think there's a lot of players that have long-term futures at the football club. Greenwood definitely does. I think in the next probably year or so, Greenwood, will emulate that level where he wants to be, and he'll probably get to Rashford's level, maybe even will overtake Rashford. Greenwood can play in the number 9, he can play on the right. I think Williams will succeed at Manchester United. Still inexperienced at the moment, but he's been given his chances this season, which is very, very good. Chong, I don't know about him. Don't really have a perception on him at the moment. But when he gets more opportunities next season, then I'll obviously know then. Garner, he's done well in the games he's played in, but he's seldom played this season. Angel Gomez, I think we're trying to get him a new contract. Delort, again, hasn't really played this season due to his injuries. Fossa Mensu, just recently signed a new contract. So we've got a lot of young players in the squad that are developing and trying to improve, which is good. And we can get some silverware on the board this season. You know, we can win the FA Cup because we're into the quarter-final. We can win the Europa League because we are into the last 8. So that's a chance for us getting some silverware on the board. And we know we've only won 3 trophies since Ferguson retired, and that was the FA Cup under Louis van Gaal and the Europa League and the League Cup under Jose Mourinho. So yeah, so hopefully, you know, we can get some silverware on the board when the season does eventually resume. And I'll learn of that. And you know, we've had some really big wins under Solskjaer, so that's also another positive. But there's some negatives as well, because since Solskjaer got the job permanently, let's be honest, his record has been disastrous. You know, there again, though, his record was disastrous at Cardiff. Obviously, you know, he's inexperienced as a manager. That's an element of concern, but the longer he remains in the Man United job, he's going to be gaining more experience. Another element of concern is that Solskjaer doesn't know his best formation as yet. On a regular basis this season, he's been going with a 4-2-3-1 formation. But to be honest with you, I think we look more expansive with a 3-5-2 formation, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. But yeah. But like I said, I've already gone through I think the players that are going to leave Man United in, when the transfer window reopens. Jones, Lingard and Pereira, I can assure them 3 are going to go. I think we're going to try everything we can to try and get rid of Sanchez. We'll probably get rid of Rojo on a permanent transfer. But yeah, more players are expected to leave the football club. But like I mentioned to you on my video yesterday, will Man United dominate football again? And I think we can dominate football again, hopefully. You know, we haven't dominated football since the Ferguson era, because we enjoyed 20 odd years of success under Alex Ferguson. And I don't think, you know, Solskjaer, you know, will replicate Ferguson's legacy, but I don't think any manager will. But yeah, so like I said, Man United are not known for a sacking club, despite the fact we've sacked 3 managers since the Ferguson era. Moyes went, Louis van Gaal went, and Jose Mourinho went. But we are still one of the biggest clubs in the world. But yeah, so that's everything to update you today, guys. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very soon.